Good morning, everybody. Tick, 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 Good morning, everybody. Hey, everybody. Welcome to the program. Welcome to the program. Good morning, everybody. Welcome to Tuesday. Tuesday, the double header. Tuesday is a double header here on this channel, Marcus Conte channel. Tonight at 7 p.m., we'll have the weekly Dharma gathering. Bring your freak to the weekly Dharma gathering. We'll sit and we'll meditate together, and we'll try to get to the bottom of some of these mental problems that people are having, or lack thereof. So welcome to the program. Big story today. Joe Biden, the racist, Joe Biden, the guy who picked Ketanji Jackson Brown, the black woman, appointed her to Supreme Court justice because she's black and the woman, you remember? That's racist. That's racist. I thought you're not supposed to pick people based on their skin color or gender. But Joe Biden did that anyway. But now he's out at NAACP or Black History whatever gathering, and he's saying, "Look, man," he's looking out at over an audience of of blacks, and he says, "Look, man, I may be white, but I'm not stupid. I may be a white boy, but I'm not stupid." Joe Biden passing racist comments from the presidential podium. He thinks it's okay. It's all right. It's okay because, white people, he's like, "Come on, man." He'll be like, "Come on, man. Come on." You're supposed to take that shit because blacks are, I don't know, worse. They're worse off than you. How dare you compare yourself to the despicable black who's at the bottom of everything, says Joe Biden. Go out there and pick a black and appoint them to something important and make yourself feel better. And while you're at it, bash the white people. Good white boy. White and boy in the same sentence. That is a ghetto slur. Hey, white boy. Yo, white boy. You're walking down the hallway in high school and you hear, "Yo, let's jump the white boy. Yo, man. Yo, my niggas, let's jump the fucking white boy, man. That white boy gets his ass kicked." Right, that's what you get. Right? It's promoting racism, Joe Biden. You're promoting racism by throwing slurs around. You might as well use the N-word while you're addressing a room full of blacks. It's the equivalent. You're standing in front of a bunch of whites and you say the N-word, but instead you're standing in front of a bunch of blacks and you throw a white slur, white boy, white privilege. That's Joe Biden. That's your president of the United States, and you wonder why people out in the Bronx, the unruly blacks, out in the Bronx, are beating the shit out of people, acting like it's still Planet of the Apes. Right, and you wonder why it's like that, because I don't know. There seems to be a blind eye to aggressive black behavior in America, mostly towards whites, but they'll run over anybody who gets in front of them. Really, if you're Asian, good luck. So we'll look at that story. Also, the unfolding, the magnificent unfolding of the propaganda. That is of the United States, that is the propaganda that is government misinformation on COVID. Look at this, just a video today. Right? In order to get to this video, you have to jump through a loop. Now, we're exposing the misinformation that was shoveled down the throat of probably 1 billion people in the world, coming out of the CDC and Fauci and all that stuff. Right? So all the myths are exploding in the agency's faces, but still, right now, today, on February 28th, 2023, if you go to a video where someone talks about the fake science that exposes the COVID-19 nonsense, you get the latest information from CDC. And I'll ask, why am I seeing this? Oh, information panel giving topical context. Oh, I understand. When you search or watch videos related to topics prone to misinformation, such as moon landing, you may see an information panel at the top of your search results or undo a video you're watching, or under a video you're watching. Information panels show basic background info sourced from independent third party. This is bullshit. This is bullshit right here. So, exposing bullshit, as the bullshit is revealed, there's still thicker and piles and piles of more bullshit on top of the bullshit. So just to watch a video that informs you of the bullshit, you have to jump through a hoop that says that what you're watching might be bullshit, right? Or is bullshit. I don't see, I mean, if you say, everybody needs 5 boosters, that panel, this panel, or whatever the fuck it is not going to be under that video, right? So just exposing the nonsense. It's real. It's ongoing. And we'll look at New York Post put together, 10 myths told by COVID experts now debunked. Right? 10. Not 1, not 2, not 3, but 10. So that's my thumbnail today. Joe Biden, black Joe Biden, spent 8 years with Barack Obama. I guess that makes him a quarter black. And he's dissing on white boys. What is the, what do young white people, what do young white boys in America think of Joe Biden's comment? Well, I don't know, but I see it as, I think he's racist. I think it's clear, his tone, his eye. He lives in a world of the past, right? You know who he is? He's if you ever watch the show, if you know the vintage television show All in the Family, he's Michael, right? He's not Archie Bunker. He's still Michael, thinking that he's stuck in the 60s revelations of black v white, right? And he's still there. He hasn't realized that the world has evolved from that, more than 60 years ago. 1960s, that's 60 years ago, 1960. Joe Biden's still living 60 years in the past. Right? And anyway, you got to wait for these guys to die off, right? Unfortunately, that's how you get rid of them. You just have to wait till they die. In 10 years, Joe Biden, Nancy Pelosi, Adam Schiff, maybe, they'll all be dead. Not, natural causes. Nobody wants to see them harmed, but they'll die. They'll go senile. Their brains will stop working more than they're already not working. And, we'll move on. So anyway, I have a website. My name is Marcus Conte. Every morning at 9 a.m., if the masters allow us to speak, if the masters of the technical universe will allow such speech on their precious channel, it gets me a little worked up, because you never know when someone's going to put the foot down on you. Right? Yesterday, like I said, I got a video deleted from 2 years ago. Work that I did at a hospital, taking a look at freezer trucks out back related to COVID-19, and that video was removed in light of all we know. In light of all we know about vaccines, about myocarditis, heart inflammation from those vaccines, the ineffectiveness somewhat to wearing masks and distancing, all the revelations that we now know to be true are still being still being censored and us still being vilified. Crazy. Crazy times. Like, what happened? What happened? Aren't we supposed to? Why did this is the problem when it becomes politicized? We made a policy and you better fucking follow it. See, that's the liberal agenda. We made a policy based on the information that we had, and fuck you. You got to do what we tell you to do because it's policy now. We don't want to listen to any new science because we already made up our minds. We made up our minds. That's what they do. They fail to look at the progression of the evidence in the case, with COVID-19. And there's still people being mandated. How many jobs were lost for people who refused to take this vaccine when they already had natural immunity? It's a real problem. These policies caused a lot of harm. The policies surrounding COVID-19 caused more harm than the virus itself. That's a fact. So anyway, my name is Marcus Conte. I have a way to fund this program because this is a defunded, mostly deplatformed, or until recently, deplatformed site, and the only way to fund it is through you, a direct connection to the public, and you can do that through Zelle. You can Zelle me at shorthappylife@gmail.com. It's you go to your online bank, and you activate Zelle, and then you could send anybody money via email, as long as their email is set up, which mine is. So there's no fees involved, no banking fees. It's direct deposit. So anywhere from $1 to, if you're a billionaire, we're looking for $1 million from you. Don't be a billionaire and send $1. If you're a billionaire, send $1 million and we're going to make you famous. I know a lot of billionaires out there are depressed. You can't connect with regular people. Well, you'll connect with this reporter because if and when you deposit $1 million in my Zelle, I will be there to shake your hand and make a video with you to thank you. And we will have a good old time. We'll go out on the town and we'll live like regular people. Right? We'll put on costumes and masks and maybe a couple of dresses, and we'll go out there and we'll have a good time, man. We'll go out, spend the night, and I'll bring you. You'll wake me up as much as I'll wake you up. So do that. But and as well, and this is a serious matter. Funding is very serious. If you're not funded, then you can't continue the work. And if you are funded, you'll continue to work with the help of the person who funded you. I guess that's common sense. And if you take the meditation challenge, the 90-day meditation challenge that you'll find out about tonight, if you're not already aware of it, 10 minutes a day for 90 days, this will change your life for the better. So anyway, if you're doing that, if you're taking the 90-day challenge, definitely consider making at least $1 donation, and that'll it's an act in generosity, and we'll talk more about that tonight. So let's dive right in. So let's go right to Planet of the Apes, aka a grocery store in the Bronx. A woman is working at the counter. And a bunch of very, very angry blacks, one angry black comes into the store a few days ago and cuts the line, demands that she be serviced first before all the people online. And the nice cashier says, "Can you kindly wait your turn? There's other people in front of you." And she says, "I'm going to kill you. I'm going to come back with my daughters, and we're going to fucking kill you, man. We're going to fucking kill you, man. Give me my fucking money." Right, that's what happens, right? So this is what it looks like when it happens. So you're at a grocery store. You're working for a living, bagging groceries and checking people out at Food Universe in the Bronx. And let's see what happens. Looks like any other corner. Here she comes. Here she comes. Her daughter, and bang, boom, one. There's another lady trying to break it up, and then the two daughters are pulling. The daughter's got her by her hair, yanking her hair. Third person, fourth person. 4 angry black women beating on one cashier because she told her kindly, don't cut the effing line. And there they go, out the door. Has there anybody been prosecuted in this for this assault? New York City grocery cashier pummeled in shocking caught-on-video attack. A defenseless Bronx grocery cashier was repeatedly pummeled by a deranged woman and her grown daughters in a shocking caught-on-video assault. Why isn't this woman already in custody? Why aren't all the 5 people? You have the evidence of the barbaric event. There they are. You're telling me you can't find these fuckers? You can't go up to the Bronx and round these fuckers up? Come on, man. Come on, round them up. It's racism. You see it all over the place in New York, but that's common, you know. And I don't know. I really get a sick feeling when I have to be the one to point this out to people. You know, if you talk to liberals, like I had a discussion with a liberal, what I think of as a friend, and I was telling him, you know, about some of the black racism that I cover. He was like, black racism? He looked at me like I just landed from Mars. Black racism? What are you talking about, man? That's like conspiracy theory. No, it's not. It's not conspiracy theory at all. It's actual based on evidence of video and eyewitness experience. Am I making this up? Is this fake news? No, it's real. This is really happening. So anyway, remember John Fetterman? Let's talk about John Fetterman. John Fetterman, the guy who looks like he should be a wrestler before he's a senator, the sitting senator from Pennsylvania, who beat Dr. Oz for his Senate seat, and was clearly and unequivocally not competent enough to hold a seat, because he had a stroke, and then B, he had another stroke. And now he's a full-time resident at Walter Reed National Military Medical Center for treatment for depression. How about that? So there's John Fetterman. He put his suit on, I believe, once. He's got a crease right here where his gun is, because he's from Pennsylvania. But very tall, John Fetterman shouldn't have been. I mean, he was clearly incompetent. He had a stroke right before the election, 2 weeks. His brain he wasn't able to speak. He wasn't able to read, and they covered it up. So they're showing pictures of Josh Shapiro, who was recently elected as governor of Pennsylvania. And if John Fetterman continues to not be able to do his job and sits in the hospital trying to recover from depression, Josh Shapiro will pick the next interim senator. Josh Shapiro is a Democrat, so you know it's going to be a Democrat. And then in 2024, they're going to have a special election. If Fetterman, fails, if he dies, he's deteriorating. I think I had 2 strokes already. He's not going to be able to do it. So John Fetterman on his way out, and it looks like we knew it, but you know what I mean. I didn't like Dr. Oz. That was the problem, really. I don't think anybody in Pennsylvania really liked Dr. Oz. Dr. Oz, he wasn't charismatic. I went to the rally where he spoke to the audience, and the guy that warmed him up was exciting. The guy that went second was even more exciting. And then Dr. Oz came on, and the fucking room went quiet. He couldn't hold a crowd. He wasn't a good candidate, Dr. Oz. And that race right there, Fetterman versus Oz, was, the balance of the Senate. It really was. And I don't know how the hell I don't know how the hell the Republicans lost that one. They couldn't beat a fucking guy that was like senile, you know? They couldn't beat a senile guy. So here's Joe Biden. Biden says, I may be a white boy, but I'm not stupid at Black History Month event. Now, is Joe Biden a racist? I said it earlier. You know who Ketanji Brown Jackson is, right? She is the Supreme Court Justice, one of 9. She is obviously, from the picture, a black female. And that really wouldn't matter to this reporter if she was competent and was chosen based on the merit of her work. But that's not what Joe Biden did. Joe Biden he had 3 black women judges who he picked from. That was the pool of possibilities when Joe Biden picked a Supreme Court justice. They pointed a finger at Trump, who picked, they were all white people, but they weren't picked necessarily deliberately because they were white. Trump picked them because Trump aligned with their values. But in this case, Joe Biden clearly, on the record, picked Ketanji Brown Jackson because of the color of her skin and the fact that she is a female. That is a fact. That is fact. In the videos, you can listen to Joe Biden say, I'm going to pick a woman. I'm going to pick a black woman as the next justice. He didn't even have the woman's name yet. He didn't even know who it was going to be, and he was saying it. So that's who Joe Biden is. So he's still passing racist comments. Let's listen to Joe Biden. President Joe Biden told a White House audience, quote, I may be a white boy, but I'm not stupid.
I know real power when I see it, the Divine Nine. We're honored to have all the presidents here tonight, and I want to thank them. And by the way, you know, I may be a white boy, but I'm not stupid. I may be a white boy, but I'm not stupid.
I might be a white boy, but I'm not stupid.
I may be a white boy, but I'm not stupid.
Ooh, big laugh. Big laugh he got. He got a big laugh.
I know where the power is.
So there you go. He knows where the power is. Joe Biden is not fucking around. Find your potential. And we got to watch a commercial with a black surfer. Thank everybody for chatting in the don't do me a favor. Don't print the same thing 3-4 times. We see it once. YouTube taught me to censor. Don't do that. Don't do that. That runs into the category of dickery. We see it once. That's enough. Thank you.
Paper, which makes it less painful.
I hate this shit, man. You gotta watch commercials.
And more Mentos Pure Fresh Gum. Yes to fresh.
I know real power when I see it, the Divine Nine. We're honored to have all the presidents here tonight, and I want to thank them. And by the way, you know, I may be a white boy, but I'm not stupid. You know, I may be a white boy, but I'm not stupid.
Oh, boy.
I know where the power is.
Yeah, he knows where the power is. He knows where the power is. So anyway, so that's Joe Biden's comment. Definitely, you know, racist, yes, definitely racist. So look at this. More than half of college professors bite their tongues over cancel culture fears. Wow, how about that? So you're a college professor, and you're basically hired to teach young people how to use their minds, right? I got a cousin that's I got a lot of friends. I don't want to. I take that back. I have I know a lot of people in academia that suffer from this dilemma. And what is that dilemma? That dilemma is that you're a professor, and you, I don't know, maybe get up all the way to the PhD level, and suddenly you're not allowed to say certain things, right? You're teaching from your heart and your soul, right? And you get censored. So So it's now official. I've always known it. To what degree are professors threatened to follow along with cancel culture? We don't really know the full details of that. But based on this survey, more than half of college professors bite their tongues over cancel culture fears. All right. There you go. Weevil Girl, you're a moderator. If shit gets out of hand, just look at the 3 dots on the side, and you'll see. Slow people down before you delete them. Don't delete anybody. Just slow them down if the LARPers return. Thank you. So academic freedom is under siege. Under siege. A new survey from the Foundation for Individual Rights and Expression reveals professors are shutting their mouths and biting their tongues out of fear of being canceled. Fear of being canceled. I know what that fear is like. Right? That's why I don't want to cancel anybody here. I just want you to be respectful of the show. And, just don't cloud up the chat. Everybody has a right to be heard. Everybody has a right to be heard. But if you dominate the chat because you're good at it, it's really not fair. So anyway, in their newly released report, The Academic Mind in 2022, FIRE, where I've been a fellow since 2021, surveyed nearly 1,500 professors from colleges and universities. 1,500 professors from colleges and universities across the country. The results show mass self-censorship and a widespread fear that saying the wrong thing can cost them their reputations or even their jobs. Right? Imagine that. Imagine that. Cancel culture pushing into colleges, right? You're a professor. You got tenure at your college, and you can't speak because some jerk off is gonna report you for saying something that is way out of context and label you a racist and a misogynist and a homophobe and more, right? More. I would say that I would like to see the breakdown of those. That fear. What color are they? What gender are they? Are they cis male, binary, non-binary? What other fucking pronoun, right? Stupid pronoun. But they're mostly whites, right? They're mostly the professors today, mostly white male professors, scared shit. Can't say a goddamn word around here. You say anything and you're a racist. Might as well just shut the fuck up and take the paycheck. Right? That's what they do. They shut up and take the paycheck. Oh yeah, honey, I wanted to be a college professor because I felt in my heart that I could make a change. He's talking to his wife when he gets home. I really did. I feel like I could have made a change. I studied my whole life and in sociology, and I'm a sociology professor. And the second I say anything, I'm deemed a white racist, supremacist. So what should I do? What should I do, honey? Should I quit? Should I speak up and get fired? Or should I just shut the fuck up and take the money? And the wife, and they go out. Listen, honey, let's go out and talk about this. Let's go have dinner and we'll talk about this. And he shuts the fuck up. And then censorship takes another breath. So anyway, I've been defending free speech on campuses for 20. You're timed out. So, time out. Slow down. YouTube taught me the sense. I asked you nicely. Just slow it down. Thank you. I've been defending free speech on campus for 22 years now, and it was clear that things have been getting much worse over the past couple of years. FIRE President CEO Greg Lukianoff told me. So more than half of professors reporting, 52%, reported being afraid of losing their jobs or reputations because someone misunderstands something they said or did, took it out of context, or posts something from their past online. So yeah, fear. That's sad. Right? That's sad. You're sitting in a classroom and you don't know if the professor's speaking truth or not. You don't know if the professor means anything they're saying, because half of them are scared shit that they're going to lose their job by saying the wrong thing. So they play it safe. And that's the evidence. That's the statistics. That's the statistics. Some 72% of conservative faculty members and 56% of moderates felt this way. So there you go. 72% of conservatives. What are those? While 40% of liberals felt the same way. Roughly 34% said they often feel they cannot express their opinions because of how students, colleagues, and school administration might respond. So it's good to see that 40% of liberal faculty members felt the same way. That's significant. 40% as opposed to 72% conservative. So we know the answer to this erosion. I witnessed this erosion of free speech on campus firsthand as a college student at NYU. As a then junior in 2021, I wrote about the pressure I felt to conform to the ultra-progressive environment at my university. Ultra-progressive? No. See, don't conscrew. See, the word progressive is now garbage. Progressive. Bernie Sanders, the great progressive. Right? It's garbage. The word has been altered to mean, suck the ass of the hierarchy. Right? Fall in line. Progressivism is now fall in line-ism. So anyway, it's no wonder professors feel this way too, considering just how liberal campuses have become. Professors from across the country have found themselves ensnared in cancel culture. So shame on you, college campuses. Where is this? I don't know. It's just I don't know. It makes you wonder about you're a college kid and you're sitting on campus and they're forcing you to take an injection that you don't need, forcing you to wear a mask you don't need, stay away from everybody, and the person next to you who's black deserves more respect than the person to the right of you who's white, because of their skin color and their heritage. And Joe Biden picks a black woman for Supreme Court justice just because she's a black woman, and because you're white, you got to suck it up. It's crazy, right? It's crazy times, right? Am I too old to understand? Well, if I'm too old to understand, let someone come aboard. All right? Someone else come aboard and tell me where I got old. I don't know. Anyway, man, I'm gonna wrap it up. So what else we got? So here's the big story: 10 myths told by COVID experts and now debunked. So COVID-19 was a disease that was discovered back in 2020. Nobody knew what the hell it was. All of a sudden, people started getting, very, very aggressive flu symptoms. Some of the old people died. Some people that were on mixed medications died. And we didn't know why. It was stories of people puking up green puke or whatever. And then it suddenly went away. And we were told that a bat, we caught it from bats in Wuhan. And that story now turns out to be absolute garbage. The more evidence then and now suggested that the virus was spliced together in a laboratory. Coronavirus and SARS, whatever, were spliced together in a laboratory to help us, to help you stay safe. They're splicing together toxic viruses, mutating viruses so that they can kill you, right? programming the viruses so that they have a specific kill ratio. Right? Viruses can be programmed to have a kill ratio up to 50%, 80%, maybe kill everybody who gets infected by it. Humans are doing this. Men, humans, women, and academics are doing this. This is not natural. Right? That's the evidence now in. That's the evidence we had then, which was called misinformation. It's the same evidence we have now, except the hierarchy is now telling you, Department of Energy told you that it was COVID-19 was likely manufactured in a laboratory. Right? So that is now so this is how we do it. So I just as a schooling, YouTube taught me to censor. I put you in timeout. You're still babbling, and you're gone. So you're gone. So you're gone. Come back tomorrow. Come back next week. I asked you nicely. That's how you have to do it on YouTube. It's not dictatorship. It's not censorship. You're being a dick in the chat, and you're taking up other people's time by doing that. Part of sharing is sharing time. If you don't understand that, then come back tomorrow and we'll try again. So anyway, 10 myths told by COVID experts and now debunked. Debunked. In the past few weeks, a series of analysts published by highly respected researchers have exposed the truth about public health officials during COVID. Right? Much of the time, they were wrong. They were wrong. So let's look at the 10 number one misinformation reports, right? So misinformation number one, right? Natural immunity offers little protection compared to vaccinated immunity. Now, that is ridiculous. We've known this for thousands of years, that when you get sick from something, the likelihood is you'll get less sick if you contract the same virus. That's not news. That's not new. That is an ancient revelation known throughout the medical profession. But for some reason, over the last few years, natural immunity was considered invalid when it comes to COVID-19. So a Lancet study looked at 65 major studies in 19 countries on natural immunity. The researchers concluded that natural immunity was at least as effective as the primary COVID vaccine series. Now, I would beg to differ that the vaccine had anything to do with increasing someone's ability to ward off a virus. You might do it now. You might jack somebody up with some kind of super immunological crap, and you might get a good, 30 days out of it or something, and then you're in a worse position. You're in a worse position because your immunity, you're immunocompromised, not because of the virus. You're immunocompromised because of the vaccine that you took. God damn it. In fact, the scientific data was there all along. From 160 studies, despite the findings of these studies violating Facebook's misinformation policy. So since 430 BC, before Christ, it has been observed that those who recover after infection were protected against severe disease if reinfected. Right? We've known that for 2,500 goddamn years. Right? Most Americans were fired for not having the COVID vaccine. Already had antibodies that effectively neutralized the virus, but they were antibodies that the government did not recognize. So if you had, for example, me, take this reporter, for example, I'll be the test, the crash test dummy. Right? So I was in New York in April of 2020. I got sick, not very sick, but I got the flu where it was like, ooh, this is the worst flu I've ever had. I had 3 days like of fucking, miserable. And it felt like you were coughing up sand, right? After that, I found out it appears that I caught whatever everybody else was catching, the deadly COVID. I had caught that, and my symptoms went away. They were gone, right? So I had natural immunity at that time for this thing. So was I afraid to get reinfected? Did I run out and get a vaccine or pray that someone would make a vaccine to save me? No, I did not. I had natural immunity. Also, I eat right. I exercise. I drink a lot of water. I sit out in the sun. I meditate. I take care of myself. I don't eat junk food. I don't eat shit. I did recently smoke tobacco, but I stopped doing that. I grew my own tobacco and I smoked a little bit of it, and actually a lot of it. And but I don't do that 24 hours, 7 days a week, all year round, like people do. How long have you been smoking for? Oh, no, since I'm 16. How old are you now? Oh, 42. You've been smoking every day, all day for 30 years? God, your poor lungs are dying. Your lung, when you say, well, I get emphysema. No, you get emphysema because you don't know how to take care of yourself. So part of what I'm trying to say is part of natural immunity is also naturally taking care of your goddamn self. Right? Take care of yourself. Don't stress out. Don't let people overwork you and underpay you. Don't get stuck in the poverty line where all you could eat is garbage and McDonald's and fucking snacks, feeding your kids Fruit Loops instead of, something healthy like oatmeal and fruit. All right? So, yeah. So what is, now that we know that natural immunity is as good or better than a vaccine, are the people that got fired for not taking a vaccine who had natural immunity, are they going to be given their jobs back? Is there going to be restitution for harm done? I wouldn't hold my breath for that one. So anyway, misinformation number 2. Masks prevent COVID transmission. Did the masks work? Well, Cochrane reviews are considered the most authoritative and independent assessment of evidence in medicine. And one published last month by a highly respected Oxford research team found that masks had no significant impact on COVID transmission. Now that's the science. That is the Cochrane review, the most authoritative and independent, right, in medicine, right, is saying it. It's not me saying it. It's them saying it and me reporting on what they said. YouTube. Do you see a difference? So when asked about this definitive review, CDC Director Dr. Rachel Walensky downplayed it, arguing that it was flawed because it focused on randomized controlled studies, right? But randomized controlled studies are a good thing, as the New York Post points out. That's the gold standard. So she says, oh, they were random and because it was focused on randomized controlled studies, says the head of the CDC, director. Meanwhile, that's actually a plus. But the greatest strength of the review is that the randomized studies are considered the gold standard of medical evidence. So, number 2, masks, according to the science, masks do not prevent. There's no evidence to suggest that masks prevent the transmission of COVID. There was nothing there. And there's a poor fucking cop getting shot up.
No, I don't want it. I don't want the shot, man. I got to take the shot or I'll lose my job. I'll just take the shot and I'll get myocarditis.
School closures, closing schools reduced COVID transmission. Right? That's number 3. The CDC ignored the European experience of keeping schools open without mask mandates. Transmission rates were no different, evidenced by studies conducted in Spain and Sweden. So the science was on the table that that closing schools had no effect or little effect. Right? Keeping people separated wasn't the answer. Right? We are connected. Human beings are all interconnected, whether you like it or not. We're not even separate in the sense of individuality. If you look at it, take a closer look. I'll give you an example. I was watching, do you ever, geese, like big birds, those big geese, they're such beautiful, creatures. And you see them by the water, they come down, they sit in the lake, they eat. They're like a family, right? And they look like individuals. They look like they're separate beings, right? But then comes the migration where they all head to the sky, 50, 100 of them. And they're like in a chain. It's like this traveling arrow moving, almost like a piece of DNA in the air, right? As the further they get away, you can't really tell the difference because they're not separate. They're one. The birds, when close up, appear to be individual, but they're really not separate at all. It's our perception that it's separate because we're very close to it. But as you pull away, you realize that there is no separation. They're connected through sound, through eye contact, through emotion, through interconnectivity. That's not necessarily like glue, like handcuffed. Right? When two people look into each other's eyes, humans, they're connecting in that way. When one human listens to the sound of the other humans speaking, that's also a connection. So we are connected. That's what I'm trying to say. We are connected as humans, and these types of problems are inescapable, really. So you gotta. I don't know what kind of fact what kind of thing I was trying to make, but anyway. So that's number 3. Number 4, myocarditis, which is a very, very bad problem with your heart, from vaccine is less common than from the infection. So imagine that, right? Myocarditis, which is now becoming kind of an epidemic of sorts. People are getting myocarditis from out of nowhere. Why? Because the vaccine aggravates it and maybe even creates it. And the people that didn't take the vaccine don't seem to have myocarditis, which is bad for your heart, right? That's the inflammation of your heart. Nobody, what the fuck, man? You take this injection that you think is going to save you from the deadly virus, and there's at least half the country, the smart half, is standing up screaming, "Don't take it! Don't take it! It's bad for you!" So that's the other misinformation that was fed to the masses, that the vaccine will, that the myocarditis is caused by something else, not the vaccine. Public health officials downplayed concerns about vaccine-induced myocarditis, or inflammation of the heart muscle. They cited poorly designed studies that undercaptured complication rates. A flurry of well-designed studies said the opposite. We now know, listen to the statistics. This is what we now know about myocarditis. Listen to this. We now know that myocarditis is 6 to 28 times more common after the COVID vaccine than after the infection among 16 to 24-year-olds. Males, 24-year-old males. 6 to 28 times. That is unbelievable, incredible, inescapable evidence that in that age group, 16 to 24-year-old males, and why are 16 to 24-year-old males allowing themselves to be injected with a vaccine? Because they think they're going to get sick. And what is that age group? That's high school, college. High school, you're pumping you're pumping high school and college kids with a poisonous vaccine that causes myocarditis. And everybody knew it, right? 6 to 28 times more common in the virus, in the vaccine. That is crazy, man. That is a crazy fact. And to point it out is misinformation. To point this out is misinformation. I feel like I got beamed onto the wrong planet all of a sudden. Like nobody makes sense anymore. Like you can't see the facts because again, it becomes politicized. The vaccine has big money behind it. Go, go, go. No, no, no. Anybody who speaks against the vaccine, cancel them. Right? Even when the evidence starts to come out. See, that's the problem with big pharma, with medical industrial complex. It's also the problem with military industrial complex. The country is no longer a threat. Why are you still dropping bombs on their head? The virus is no longer a threat. Why are you firing people and forcing them to take a dated vaccine that causes myocarditis? So young people benefit from the vaccine booster. Number 5 of misinformation. No, they don't. No, they don't. Boosters reduced hospitalization in older, high-risk Americans. I don't really believe that statistic, but I'll accept it. But the evidence was never there that they lower COVID mortality in young, healthy people. Never. All right, so how do you benefit from the booster? How did you benefit from the booster? It was supposed to save lives. That's the point of the vaccine. Not to make you less sick, but to save your life. Right. So that's another lie. Right. Vaccine mandates increased vaccination rates. Vaccine mandates increased vaccination rates. Well, maybe because people were afraid to be fired. Right. President Biden and other officials demanded unvaccinated workers, regardless of their risk or natural immunity, to be fired. They demanded that soldiers be dishonorably discharged and nurses be laid off in the middle of a staffing crisis. Is this speculation? No, this is what the Biden administration did. And Trump, the government did this to you, right? Fired you, right? I know people that got fired. I know people that didn't get hired. I know people that myself, I was going to go do certain things. I was going to go visit certain places. And then I saw a mask and a vaccine mandate. And what did I do? I said, fuck it, I'm not going. I'm not going to go there. I can't go there. I'm not going to go there. I'm going to go to this retreat and they're not going to let me in unless I'm jacked up with a vaccine that I can. How ridiculous, and I didn't go. Right? So everybody's lives were affected by this thing. Right? Misinformation. Right? Are we still even live? Are we allowed to speak? I guess it's all unraveling. Someone is letting them speak. I mean, look, I speak openly. I'm trying to be as honest as I can based on the science that I'm looking at. And I don't get it right every time, but nobody does. But in this situation, man, were we right about COVID-19. Man, were we right. The other thing, the list goes on and on. Number 7, that it was a lab leak. Of course, we now know that the Energy Department has declared that. But the other devastating parts of COVID-19 and the mask mandates and the hysteria over vaccines and social distancing and every other thing is that it created deep pockets of sick people who don't do well when they're isolated. They don't know how to be alone. They don't know how to be. Right? And you isolate them and you scare them and they're at home. Some of them are sleeping with masks on and everything they touch, they're wearing gloves and using insecticides to, ammonia and Clorox or whatever else they're putting on their hands to prevent the germ from getting at them. There are happy, loving couples that are wearing masks to prevent getting the other one sick. It's ridiculous. Right? So the socialization, the dramatic effects on human socialization cannot be understated. It pushed a decentralization in our economy. People working from home. So we're only scratching the surface of just how devastating the government mishandling of COVID-19 really is. The vaccine is I guess again is the most extreme example of it. It's we don't care. We're government. We do not care what you think or feel about your own health. We don't care about your own opinion of yourself. You don't have a right to decide on this matter. You will take the vaccine. You will take the vaccine. You will wear a mask or you will not be working for us. That's what they told people. Right? That's not freedom. That's not freedom of choice. They told you that and validated and said, if you don't take the vaccine, you're going to kill me. I'm going to let you kill me because you didn't take your vaccine. How fucking ridiculous was that one? And that came right out of racist Joe Biden's mouth. Racist Joe Biden said that. He said,
I'm gonna let you guys. You're not gonna get your vaccine and wear a mask. I'm gonna let you kill me. Let you kill me.
Remember when he said that? That idiocy that he said? All based on crap. All based on misinformation. Right? And it's not over yet. It's not over yet. Just that as we speak, these platforms are still misinforming people. Still misinforming people. COVID-19, get the latest information from the CDC about COVID-19, and you click on it. Why am I seeing this? Why am I seeing this? Because you might be watching misinformation. Right? Do you see it when you go to get your free vaccine? Let's see. Go get your free vaccine. Oh, here we go. Sponsored from Rite Aid. Let's go. Get your free vaccine. Any disclaimer? No. You can get your vaccine, no problem. Just put in your eligibility. Schedule an appointment right now. But if you listen to news that informs you of the possibility of contracting myocarditis by taking the vaccine, that somehow is misinformation. But getting the vaccine for free, you shouldn't be warned. There shouldn't be a warning on the vaccine that you might encounter myocarditis. Your heart may fucking stop pumping. So those are the times we live in. And anyway, now I'm all worked up. Thank you for... It's snowing outside. I was going to go running today, and yeah, it's starting to. We got like 3 inches of snow. 3 inches of snow here in Northeast Pennsylvania. It's a little slushy right now. Cars are moving. Sidewalk is clear. Street is clear. I'll run today. I'm gonna go run, and I'll see you guys tonight, man. Tonight for the Dharma gathering, Tuesday night Dharma gathering. So come on back. So get ready to rumble. Supreme Court hearing on. Oh, this is another article. I'll talk about this tomorrow. I'm out of time. About student loan forgiveness. I'm going to go right into the. I sound like Joe Biden, man. It's like contagious. So markets are open. NASDAQ is up 23. Dow down 120. Looks like we're going red today. S&P 500 down 11. And all right, it's not a brutal down open. Apple down 20 cents. Amazon down 33. Hard to predict direction at this moment. I don't know. NASDAQ is hovering around flat, a little up, a little green. We'll take it. See, how's in light of all this new evidence coming in, this new acceptable narrative that vaccines cause myocarditis. The people that sell you that shit, Pfizer, Johnson & Johnson, Moderna, mixed right now. Johnson & Johnson down $1.31, Moderna up 72 cents, Pfizer down 36 cents. Those are the three stocks I follow when it comes to vaccines. War stocks, Lockheed Martin, Raytheon, both down this morning. They're not getting their war as they would like. So thank you all for joining me, and I appreciate you being here, man. So, and thank you, Weeble Girl, for the moderation. Just get the hang of it. You point on anybody's name, and you could see what kind of power you have.
You got power.
You could remove it, or just you could put somebody in timeout, or you could hide someone from the channel. Don't abuse it. It's not a tool to abuse. Rarely do we have to use it, but sometimes you do. Sometimes you do it, and then the next day, we all come back and we kumbaya. Well, they come back worse. The trolls. What is this? So I'll see you guys tonight, 7 p.m. 7 p.m. Dharma gathering. Come on down. Learn to meditate. And see you guys tonight. Marcus Conte reporting.